Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king. Yeah-yo, yeah-yo, yeah-yo. What was that? It just turned into something completely different.
I don't know what it was.
His name is Luffy. That's Monkey D. Gonna be king of the pirates.
That was actually really good.
He's made of rubber. How did that happen? Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum. His name's always just like a samurai and an L-A-D-Y. He's not shy.
You actually know the lyrics way too well.
I know all the versions of it too. There's like the pirate crew coming through doing his thing. And then when they get Usopp and Sanji, it's Usopp's doing his marksman thing and Sanji's cooking for the would-be king. And then they add Chopper and they're like Sanji's cooking, Chopper's doctoring.
Is that what Chopper does?
He's a doctor.
Oh, okay.
He's a ship doctor. Spoilers.
Oh, dude.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back to another episode of Ty and Jimmy Talk. If you can guess by the hats that we are wearing, we are talking about...
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Actually, we're talking about Pokemon.
Oh, dude.
The anime.
Yeah, the new podcast that Veronica Taylor started.
Did she actually?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Doing a rewatch of the original Pokemon series with her daughter.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch that.
Oh, dude, no,
So
I listened to the first episode the other day. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's enjoyable as hell.
Cool. I'm going to listen to that on my way to work.
We'll just plug in the podcast in the first minute of ours.
Hey, dude.
But yeah, we're obviously talking about One Piece today.
Yep.
If you haven't figured out from the title, the thumbnail, the hats,
especially
the
hats.
flawlessly done rap at the beginning.
Yeah. It was actually really good. I was low-key kind of impressed.
Yeah. That was my childhood. That is the sound of my childhood.
The more you rapped, the more it came back to me. I was like, oh yeah, I remember
I can see all the visuals as it's happening as well.
The only visual I remember is just like the devil fruit going through the screen. Yeah.
The cursed fruit, dude.
Oh, is it?
It was called the cursed fruit in the 4Kids version.
But in the actual version, it's called devil fruit. Okay, so I'm right.
Yeah, well... yeah.
Sure. All right. So this is Tyler, and I'm Monkey D. Jimmy, and I'm going to be king of the podcast.
I'm Portgas D. Tyler, and you're Monkey D. Jimmy.
Dude, we're going to be king of the podcast.
I was just thinking that. That's so funny.
Actually.
Well, I'm not.
I'm king of the podcast.
Yeah.
I've actually got the hair and everything. Kind of.
I was gonna say
low-key.
the hat. No, not Loki. Luffy.
Oh, sorry.
You're very close though.
Okay, I Luffy key look like.
You do kind of have the hair though. You should have shaved your face clean shaven.
I shaved last week.
Dude, what the fuck?
Sorry, dude. Maybe for the next when season 2 of One Piece comes out.
Yeah, which, hey, if the negotiations for the strikes go well, the writer's strike is over now. The
I've heard.
strike isn't yet. But
it's getting there.
They're going into talks shortly, or they have, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not up to date on it all currently, but we're getting there.
Who knows? So yeah, today we're talking about One Piece. We're talking about the live action series.
Yes, indeed.
Because Tyler watched it all and he told me to watch it. And I was like, fine, I'll watch it. I don't regret it. It was really good.
Yeah, I'm glad you really enjoyed it. When you said you had lots of things to say, I was like, oh, you fucking hated it.
No. I actually really enjoyed it. Do you want to talk? I know we talked about a little bit about your history with One Piece. In the last episode or so. But is there anything else you kind of want to talk about quickly before we jump into it?
Not really. The recap, if you haven't listened to our other film and television podcast that we put out a little while ago, go and check that out.
Yeah.
I did talk about One Piece live action a little bit, but since at that time you hadn't watched it, so I didn't want to talk too much. But basically, I grew up watching the 4Kids version of One Piece.
Yeah.
And then sort of in high school, I started reading One Piece. So the librarian at my school, she was getting she had a bunch of manga in the school library, and I was in year 8, and I was she had all of Death Note, so I was reading Death Note, I was reading Fruits Basket, I was reading Bleach, and she's like, I want to get some more manga in, and I was like, you should get One Piece.
Yeah.
And she would ask me for advice on what to get, because I was
You're the manga expert.
I was the most frequent person borrowing the manga from the school library. Actually, technically Dragon Ball is but so she asked me, and I was like, I remember watching the show One Piece as a kid. You should get that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And so she got the first fucking 58 volumes of it or something.
58.
Because that's what was out at the time, basically.
Yeah.
And so I was borrowing it at such a rapid rate that she was we were only allowed to borrow 6 books from the school library at a time.
Yeah.
So I would borrow 6 volumes of One Piece, go home, read them all that night, and then go back the next day and trade them for the next 6. And once I hit like volume 30 something, she's like, I haven't actually like scanned the others into the library system yet. So she's like, could you slow down? But she actually let me borrow the books before they'd been scanned into the library system.
That's sick.
Because she knew I was going to come back for the next one.
You were the librarian's like most frequent visitor.
I was, yeah. Miss Little. I hope you're doing okay. Like,
I used to do the same thing actually, but with Fairy Tale and Death Note.
I did. Yeah. They had Fairy Tale as well. They didn't have as much Fairy Tale, but I read so much Fairy Tale from school like that. Yeah.
What a time.
I used to draw Ezra Scarlet in my like workbooks.
Of course, you did.
She's the best fucking character. First of all.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Natsu's a little pussy, dude.
I used to love Natsu.
Yeah, you would be a Natsu stan, dude.
What's that got to do with anything?
I don't know. You just give off Natsu vibes.
What are Natsu vibes?
Natsu
vibes?
these nuts, dude.
Dude, that was so good.
I thought you said Nazi for a second. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sounded like you were saying it, like you're about to say it, but you said Natsu. I was like, okay, thank God.
You give off Natsu vibes, dude. But like, no, so I borrowed so much manga from school, and like, the librarian let me borrow all of One Piece. Like,
nice.
So I read up to, I think it was like volume 57 or 58 they had. So some very important stuff was happening at that point in time.
Got to do with Ace, I'm guessing?
Yeah, Ace came back in a really big way.
Nice.
And that was no
spoilies.
No spoilies. But it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
and
nice.
then I started watching the Japanese dub, the Japanese like English sub.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, there were only about 300 English episodes. And I was like, well, I'm not here to fuck around with 300 English episodes, then go to Japanese. I'll just watch it in Japanese. So I watched it through. I remember downloading...
You downloaded it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Episode like 518, like, which was like the first like post-time skip episode.
Yeah.
I remember downloading all of the early post-time skip stuff like as it was coming out.
Damn.
And reading
That's
the
insane.
manga for like the post-time skip as it was coming out.
Are you up to date now?
I'm relatively up to date.
Okay.
I've finished reading Wano, but I haven't caught up on Egghead Island yet, which is the next arc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I've actually started rereading it all from the beginning again.
Oh, really?
I'm on like volume like 23 already. I've like finished Alabaster already.
Honestly, getting through the manga is super easy and super quick.
The manga is so easy to get through. Like it's so enjoyable though.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, nice. I want to just say real quick, just going back to the library pit. I had the head librarian at my school was called Mrs. Reed.
Mrs. Reed.
No joke.
What's wrong with that?
Like, you know,
read.
Like reading a book.
I immediately thought read like what you'd put in like a woodwind instrument, and I was like, but she's not a musician. Like, what? Read.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm with you now.
That's pretty funny.
I'm a music teacher, dude. I'm not a fucking manga teacher.
I just didn't think it would take you that long to make that connection.
I was literally teaching about woodwind instruments today at school.
Oh, really?
And so the reed is on the mind, you know? Like, so I was like, the reed? Why would she be called Mrs. Reed? She's not a music teacher. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's good. That's funny.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Ours was called Miss Little, and she was very short. So do with that information what you will.
That's pretty cool.
She was very lovely.
We had a geography teacher called Mr. Hill.
Mr. Hill.
Yeah, that was pretty epic. That's it. Do you think like teachers with those names like that, you know, they have to do those careers, like their paths are already set?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Speaking of paths being set.
Ooh.
I want to jump in real hardcore. Also, I'm taking this hat off because it's
Yeah.
very hot. Oh, but now you have to see like my sweaty hair for the rest of the podcast.
That's why I'm not taking mine off. My hair is going to be an absolute mess. I'm keeping this on.
It's like, mine's like a full fabric. Yours is a straw hat. Mine's like a full fabric hat. It's very hot in here as well.
It doesn't help that it's already like naturally hot in this room.
Man. But yeah,
not a compliment.
Okay, I'm moving on. So you have never really engaged with One Piece at all before this? Like, at all?
I maybe like watched 1 or 2 episodes of the the 4 Kids. 4 Kids?
Oh, like the original one
like
in the early 2000s, like the censored one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, sure.
So that's why I kind of recognized the theme when you started singing it.
Sure.
But no, I don't remember anything at all. I don't remember the plot. The only thing I remember was Luffy was a rubber boy and he ate a fruit.
Yeah.
That gave him those powers.
I mean,
that was it.
You've summarized the show.
And that he wanted to find the One Piece.
Yeah.
Which I guess, that's the majority of the plot. But
I mean, yeah, you've summarized it. But yeah.
Nothing further
So
than that.
I obviously then had a lot of expectations going into this live action adaptation.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people did, of course.
Yeah.
Because I am so fond of the source material. Like, I absolutely fucking love One Piece.
Couldn't tell.
Tell everyone... Thanks, man. We'll tell anyone at any time, like, hey, you should read this, or you should watch this. Or, like, yeah, I know it's daunting for a lot of people because of the length of it. And, like, I get that a lot. And then also about One Piece.
Yeah.
But it's...
Some reason that took a little bit for me to get. I was like, what is he talking...
That's what she said.
Stop.
But it's,
Stop.
I had a lot of expectations going in,
Yeah.
which I will talk about. But what
why we're here.
did you have any going in? Like, what did you feel?
Since I didn't really have the highest of expectations because of like animes that have been turned into live action in the past.
Netflix
like,
Death Note, dude? Perfect movie.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I've heard it was like top 10.
We should
like,
watch that.
Yeah, I'd be down for it. Cowboy Bebop and just in general, like cartoons being turned into live action, I've just never been like a big fan of. It's just never felt right.
Yeah.
To me. So when I saw One Piece, I was like, I mean, okay, sure.
Great.
I did watch the trailer and like the cast looked good. It looked like the characters in the anime. So I was like, okay, this could be good. And then you were hyping it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, we'll give this a shot. Tyler wants to talk about it on the podcast. I'm like, I kind of want to watch it anyway just to see what the hype's about because I've heard like generally good reviews as well. So yeah, I watched it all last week, basically. We watched like I think it's nearly like 2 or 3 episodes a day. Like we smashed through it. And it's only like 8. It was 8 episodes or something, about 40, 50 minutes per episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, we smashed through it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I liked it.
Hell yeah.
I really liked it. It was pretty solid.
It's honestly, they really did well.
Yeah.
This could have been so bad.
Yeah.
But they, like, you can tell that, like, the people behind the scenes really like the source material. Fucking take note, Witcher. Like,
I think you said that last time as well.
Yeah, no, real though. But you can tell that, like, they are passionate about the source material, and you can tell that the actors are passionate as well, which is great.
Well, even like in the first couple minutes of the first episode, we're like, oh wow, the production of this is actually like super good.
Well, like they actually built all of the ships. The Baratier.
Oh, actually?
They actually built the Going Merry. They built the Baratier. They're real
awesome.
sets. They're actual sets, yeah.
Even that ship, that what's his face is on, the evil captain dude. What's his name?
The evil captain, dude.
You know,
there's so many.
Monkey, yeah,
Garp?
Garp.
Yeah,
yeah,
Garp. Yeah. No, that's real.
That ship's real.
Yeah, as
That
far
ship
as I know,
looks awesome.
I know for a fact that the Going Merry and the Baratier were real sets.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fairly sure that all the ships were real though.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, which adds to the immersion of it a lot.
I think another reason my expectations were actually kind of slightly higher was because I know that the original
Ichiro Oda.
He was very heavily involved in the production and like nothing went past him basically.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay,
there have even been interviews since then where like the producers and writers have been like, we really wanted to do this and we asked Oda and he said no.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
good call.
Yeah, I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah.
But then it's there are things though that they were like, we wanted to do it and he said no, and then we like wore him down and we got it in the show. And funnily enough, the things that they said that about are the things that I probably only have the complaints about.
What were they?
Garp, for one. He doesn't come in the manga for quite a while. Like,
really?
He doesn't come in for age. He is not present anywhere near the beginning of this story.
He's like a big part of the
He is the driving force of the season. He's
really
pursuing them the whole time.
Yeah.
So in the manga, interestingly, Garp is first introduced so for each chapter page title, like for each chapter title page, there's like ongoing like side stories. So like I think one of the early ones is like showing how Buggy got his body back. So when he becomes the little head and hands and then Luffy fucking boots him into another dimension. Like, and it's like, you know, it's like Buggy's finding his body, part 1. And so each chapter of the book has like a little, like just a little 1-page sketch of like him getting his body back.
I love that.
It's so much fun. And then so Garp is introduced on there because you see Kobe and Helmeppo's training arc of them working on a marine ship. Okay. And then Axan Morgan comes back and kidnaps Helmeppo, and then Garp comes to execute Axan Morgan, and then so that's where Garp is actually introduced for the first time.
But Axan was like murdered in the second episode?
Yeah. Well, so Garp in general or the Navy are not as present in this. The only like Navy you really get in East Blue is Nezumi, who was the cat the Catman who's
that looked fucking
who's with
weird.
Arlong. Yeah,
that weird. That
oh, but they committed to it.
they did commit to it because
loved
I looked up the anime character. I'm like, oh, he actually dresses like that.
Yeah,
it just didn't translate like amazingly well.
It's so funny though.
It gave me a good giggle.
But like, yeah, so Garp was one of the things that I was like, I see why, you know.
Yeah.
But there is a character who they teased in the very final moments of the final episode.
Yeah.
Smoker, who is surrounded by smoke.
Who would have thought?
Anyway, but his role through Alabaster and, you know, through the fucking whole story basically up to this point, is Garp's role in the first season.
Oh, really?
He is just like, I'm going to catch these motherfuckers and I'm going to kill them.
Right.
Whereas Garp is obviously not trying to kill them.
No.
But Smoker's role moving forward is Garp's role. So I'm like, it's interesting that they did that already.
Yeah.
Because now season 2 is going to open with them going to Rogue Town, and seeing Smoker, Chaser, hardly know her, and seeing Smoker, and Smoker starts pursuing them, and so and then that's going to be like the driving force of season 2.
Does the stuff that happens with Garp eventually happen in the manga? How like chases him down and like fights him, but it's like, I just had to make sure.
No.
Really?
Not that I can remember. Garp shows up and he's like, "Fuck are you doing here, buddy?" Like, and he's like, "Granddad," and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird, but obviously I haven't heard like the manga or read the anime, so I was like, "Oh, okay, this must just be what happens, I guess."
It's it is weird, but Garp being there was interesting.
Yeah,
and I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it as much as I dislike some of the other stuff.
Okay,
but it's I don't dislike Garp being there because I know why. You know, it's another connection to our lead, like with him being Luffy's grandfather.
Yeah.
And and I like it really amps up the, like, you know, they're being pursued.
Yeah.
You know, it really amps it up. Whereas on the other hand, though, East Blue is like super chill. He's gathering the crew. Yeah. They're just hanging out. And then they get to the Grand Line and everything's fucked. So like...
Yeah, okay.
It's interesting that they did it, but I like it.
It seemed a lot more intense, I guess, with everyone like chasing him. Is it not as intense like in the manga and anime?
No, East Blue's so fucking chill in the manga and anime. Like, it's so chill. They're just cruising around having fun.
Just having a good time. I heard East Blue's like only the first 40 chapters or something.
They enter the Grand Line on chapter 100.
Oh, okay.
So...
Oh, nice.
There's probably... I think there's been like 6 chapters at Lowtown, and then they go up like... So like... That season probably covers the first like 92, 93 chapters of the manga.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and like it covers a decent amount. It covers like 10 or 11 volumes of the manga.
Okay.
So it almost translates to an episode a volume.
Yeah.
Which is not directly how it translates,
no.
but you know,
like they cut a couple of things, or
they cut a fair bit actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting.
What did they cut?
So Don Krieg gets cut. Literally by Mihawk. He gets fucking destroyed.
Oh.
So when you meet Mihawk in the live action, he gets like the call from Garp to be like, "Hey, go fucking take out Luffy." And the pirate armada that he is fighting is you see the guy in like the gold armor with the pirate. That's Don Krieg. Him and Luffy have a fight at the Baratier.
Oh, that would have been cool to watch.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking great fight too. So Jesus, so like Geen.
Got a lot to cover.
The guy who comes into the restaurant and Sanji gives him the food.
Yeah.
And Geen, his name's Geen, and he's like, "Don't go to the Grand Line." That happens. Yeah. And then Don Krieg shows up in his ships and they're just fucking destroyed. And he's like, "I've just come back from the Grand Line. It was fucked." Geen is like his like first commander or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so they're like, "What happened?" And they're like, "This fucking guy Mihawk just cut up our ships." And then you see Mihawk sail in on this tiny little fucking wooden boat with a massive cross at the back of it. And he's just chilling and he's like,
"So
fuck's going on, guys?" And he pulls out his sword and just swings it towards Don Krieg's ship and it cuts the whole thing in half.
Yeah, so that's what happened in the live action.
Yeah, and you're like, "Holy fuck."
Yeah.
And then he gets out and he's like, "You're not worth my time." And Zoro's like, "Hey, I want to fight you." And Mihawk's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck are you on about?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that moment, like, that's one of my favorite moments in East Blue. There are so many good moments in East Blue. Like, when Zoro and Mihawk are fighting and Mihawk's like, and he pulls out his little fucking dagger.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm not going to use my sword on you, you little bitch boy." And then, you know, Zoro gets, like, defeated and he turns around and Mihawk's like, "What are you doing?" And Zoro's like, "Scars on the back are a swordsman's shame." And I'm like, Ooh,
damn.
And he cuts him down. That's so fucking
so
good.
Yeah.
And then Zoro being like, I'm never going to lose again. Like,
yeah. And then he never lost again.
I think he does, to be honest.
Okay.
Like,
Cool.
spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, sick.
The one problem I had with Baratier is that
Yeah.
they replaced the Don Krieg fight with an Arlong fight.
Yeah.
And that took away from one of my favorite fucking moments in the manga and the anime.
Yeah.
Where right after Nami, like, you know, cuts her arm open to get rid of the tattoo and then asks Luffy for help.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And they have that fucking sick moment when Luffy's walking and he's like, guys, and they're like, right. And they all walk to Arlong Park together. At this point, Luffy has never seen Arlong before.
Oh, right.
And so he walks in, he punches down the gate of Arlong Park, and he's like, which one of you's Arlong? And Arlong's like, me. And Luffy walks up and just fucking decks him straight into the ground. And everyone's
awesome.
like, what the fuck? And it is such a fucking cool moment.
That would have been so cool.
It is so cool. Because, like, Luffy's just, like, deadpan, walks straight up to Arlong. Arlong's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And he just fucking decks him into the ground. And then the fight between them is just fucking immaculate.
Their final fight was still really good.
I enjoyed their final fight a lot.
Yeah.
See, again, in the manga, like, they're up.
I want to have a whole different conversation about, like, so did this happen? Did this happen? Was this what happened in the anime? And I think we could go on forever.
Luffy fighting Arlong at Baratier was one of the things I did not like.
Oh, why is that?
Because I like that moment so much of Luffy. Like, he's never seen he's heard all of this about Arlong, about how he's the most feared man in the East Blue, highest bounty in the East Blue.
Yeah.
And he's like, doesn't give a shit. He's like, Nami asked for help, I'm going to help.
Yeah.
And he walks in and he's like, who are you? And he fucking punches him into, like, he does not care. Whereas, like, in the show, he already gets beaten by Arlong before he goes to fight Arlong on Nami's behalf.
Yeah.
Which is like, I just don't love it. I just don't love it.
You didn't like it was kind of like a bit of redemption.
Yeah,
it was for him in a little bit.
I like that he fought Arlong because, like, you know, he was there to help Nami. You know, like, that was it. Whereas at the Baratier fight, he's just fighting him just cause.
Yeah.
And they did say, like, the showrunners did say, like, they wanted to make Arlong like sort of like the overarching villain of the series.
Yeah,
and I liked that. That he was going to talk to Buggy, that he was, like, making his presence. Like, I liked that.
Yeah.
I just don't like that he fought Luffy at the Baratier.
If you took that out, would you have just, like, completely loved that arc, or?
I think so, yeah. But it's it's interesting even in the anime, manga, and the live action. Baratier is meant to be like Sanji's introductory arc.
Yeah.
You meet Sanji, you see his backstory.
Yeah.
But, like, the best moments from that arc are when Zoro fights Mihawk.
Yeah.
And when Luffy fights Don Krieg.
Yeah.
Which obviously the second one wasn't present in live action, but
yeah. They really did, like, emphasize a lot Sanji's story.
Sanji's story was, like, all of the backstories for all of them were really well handled.
Yeah. They looked really good. Like, Sanji, I still don't believe he survived on that island for 80 days. Like,
see, like,
come on, buddy.
Yeah, it's a bit, they pushed it a bit far.
Yeah.
Like, you got to day 50 and I was like, oh yeah. And then I got to 8, I'm like,
I don't know about that, Chief.
Yeah. I loved the way they did the backstory so far. And Zeph was perfect.
Zeph was so good. Their relationship was probably some of the most emotional moments in the entire show.
But it's not even as good as the anime and manga.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking good when he says goodbye to Zeph.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And they did a version of it really well in the live action.
Yeah, I mean, I already thought that was pretty good. Like, it was quite emotional. Like, Sanji be like, see ya. But then he starts crying. Like, I'll never forget you.
Well, that's similar. Like, he's walking out of the Baratier and they're all like, a fucking good riddance, Sanji.
Yeah.
And Zeph's up there and he's like, you know, fucking don't die or whatever. Like,
yeah.
And Sanji turns around and he's like, hey, fuck you. And then he, like, starts crying and he gets down and he's, like, bowing on the ground and he's like, I'll never forget you. And it's like,
dude, it gets you.
It's so good.
I just thought Zeph was a dick for wanting him to, like, get out of my kitchen, get out of the store, but then you realize he wants to follow his dream and stuff. Yeah. Oh, Zeph is a daddy. Zaddy?
Yeah. Zaddy.
I don't know.
Like, all my friend Zach. But yeah, Zeph was so perfectly cast. And I think him and Garp interacting never happens, obviously.
I kind of liked it,
I really liked it, though. That Zeph was like, we got to, like, leave them to their own devices. And Garp's like, I can't do that. Like, I really liked that.
Yeah. But Garp ends up doing that.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, which it's It's good. It's really cool because you never really see like the older generation of pirates interact.
Yeah.
And so it was cool to see them interacting with each other.
And then like talking about like stories from the past and battles from the past.
Yeah,
like, damn, that sounded pretty epic.
And like, okay, what did you think of Captain Kuro, the cat butler?
The butler dude?
Yeah, Captain Kuro.
Captain of the Black Cat Pirates.
Yeah. Klahadore.
That was probably my least favorite arc of the series. I didn't love it. It was good. But
see,
it's just
Serum Village, people say is overrated in the manga, like, but I love it. Kuro is such a menace in the source material, and they kind of like played it down a little bit in the live action. He's like genuinely frightening, in the source material, but he was kind of the actor who played him, fucking outstanding.
Did a good job.
Yeah. But although I fucking love Usopp though.
Usopp is pretty good.
Usopp is solid.
I'm not a fan of the character because he's just kind of spineless, but the way he played him was really good. I enjoyed it.
He's fucking like Jacob someone. I don't know his fucking name, dude, but he was perfect as Usopp.
I wanted to say real quick that like the butlers that help out Kuro, it just didn't feel right. It felt like weeaboos dressing up and playing characters.
See, their costume. I'll show you photos of what they look like. Their costumes were accurate, but I think that was to their detriment.
Yeah, it didn't like. I got that they were trying to be accurate, but it just didn't translate amazingly well. And then the blue-haired girl was just like hissing and acting like a cat. I was like, I don't love this. This is kind of weird. And there were like other moments where you see some like random characters with dyed hair, and you're like.
Yeah,
I get it, but
weeaboos, dude.
Yeah, well, maybe not weeaboos, but like they look like cosplayers more than people. In the actual show.
And I think those two, like Butchie and Siam, the two.
Yeah.
I think they were the only ones that I thought that about. To be fair, they were like the only ones in the show that went, oh, those costumes aren't great.
Yeah, I thought so too, because the rest of the cast, I was like, yep, that's awesome.
I'm on board. Great. The snail's got a beard. I'm on board. Like
the snail guys were kind of weird, dude, but I kind of love
the Denten Mushies, the phones. Oh my god, they're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, we're gonna be okay.
Everything's gonna be fine.
They've gone weird.
Yeah.
You know, they're sticking to.
They really
weirdness.
went into it.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Go hard or go home.
Right.
You know what I mean. My favorite character of the whole show was Buggy.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Love Buggy. Not because he's just a creepy clown, but. That I can't remember the actor's name, but he really commits to that character.
Jeff someone?
Something like that.
So I should learn people's names.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
He is actually a huge fan of the source material.
Yeah.
And I think he was like lobbying to play Buggy. I don't know, like he was fucking amazing. He was
so
Buggy.
good. Like just like genuinely funny, but also just batshit crazy.
They really made Buggy menacing, which I really liked.
I mean, he was menacing at the start, but I think the more we saw of him, he felt less menacing, but that was probably...
That's accurate. That's accurate to the source material.
Yeah, okay.
The more you see him, you're like, oh, this guy's a fucking clown.
Oh, dude. Maybe that's the whole point.
But he doesn't even know what's going on. Knows.
That got me. That was pretty funny.
They really play that up in the manga. Like... he's like, where's Luffy? And they're like, no one knows. He's like, knows? He's like, what did you say? And they're like, no.
Stop. That was so good. And then like when he started like he detaching all the body parts from himself, like, oh shit, okay.
Chop fruit.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was called. Yeah. I thought he was genuinely menacing with his powers.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, we're
they
in
did
for
it
a fight,
really
buddy.
well. It
was really good. He was my favorite.
Buggy was great.
Who?
He was great.
Buggy.
Yeah, he was great.
Okay. Yeah, he was so good. I don't know. He just felt like the most dedicated out of nearly all of them. I think a lot of the characters for me just didn't feel like they were still really good.
Yeah.
Like this man went for it. And the guy who played Arlong as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I felt the same with Arlong.
Yeah, like those two are probably my favorite characters.
I did have a problem with Arlong in the sense that sometimes his voice was so deep and sultry, I couldn't understand what he was saying. I was like, I don't know what words you just said, but damn, like...
I thought that too, but he also had like the most satisfying voice.
Oh yeah, his voice was amazing. I was like,
it was so good. Like whoever mixed his voice did such a good job. It sounded so good.
I think in general the mixing was
really good.
Like I could hear everything so clearly, which is very rare for a fucking modern day production.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this with Spider-Verse. It's so rare to be able to hear everything that people are saying these days.
I didn't need the subtitles as much.
Yeah.
So that was good.
What did you think of Arlong, like prosthetically speaking? Like what did you think of his makeup?
I think it was good. It was good.
It grew on me.
I think it like them and all the fishermen when I first saw them.
The fishermen.
The fish people. Yeah.
Fishmen. There's no women fish people? Nah.
There is. I actually don't. Yeah, I didn't see any.
I made that joke. I've made that joke before, like not to you, but I was like, actually, yeah. Are there any fish women?
I don't remember seeing any fish women.
There are. Like,
okay,
when you get to Fishman Island.
Okay. Should be Fish People Island.
Yeah, tell me about it, dude.
The prosthetics. I think at first I was like, I don't know, but it grew on me, and at the end I was like, okay, they look good. It's whatever.
The guy that Usopp fights.
Oh yeah.
Like with his massive lips.
Yeah, that looked a bit.
No, I liked him a lot.
Oh, okay. Good.
In the manga, every time he speaks, he goes like, and he makes like a little kissing noise.
Yeah,
like, that's very funny.
His ability was pretty cool.
Like shooting the
yeah. And the way Usopp defeats him is pretty good.
Yeah, and again, that's like, I love Usopp, man. Like, he's not the strongest member of the crew, but then that relates to like why I like the show as a whole. Like, Luffy's just going around gathering people that he likes.
Yeah,
he's like, you're cool, come aboard.
Yeah,
and Usopp's he's just a nice guy that Luffy really likes.
Yeah,
and he's there, and I'm like, you know what? I fucking love that.
I get it.
Love that for you.
Yeah, all of the cast were just so good.
The main five, like, they just...
I think...
Fucking perfect.
I think Sanji was probably my favorite.
See, I'm really glad you said that, because me too. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have as much time in the show, like, certainly in the last couple of episodes.
He's only, But Taz Skylar, who plays him, man, like, my God, he just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was so
like,
good.
all of them did. Like, McKenyu as Zoro, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And, like, Emily Rudd as Nami.
So my question, because I was about to kind of critique them a little bit. Their portrayal in the live action, is it the same in the anime?
It's very, very close. Like, Sanji in the anime and manga is like he's just such a simp. I think it's the only way that I can say it. Like,
he's kind of a simp in this still.
No, it's like way over the top.
Yeah.
Like when you first meet him and he's like, and they got like they don't name the character, but like the pink-haired marine, Lieutenant Full Body, and when he gets up and Sanji, like, he beats him down because he's like disrespecting the food, but then also because he's like, there is a beautiful woman sitting at your table, like, you sit the fuck down and respect her. Like, but then he walks up and he's like kissing her hand and he's like, hello my love, like, it's very funny and very over the top, but like I like how they alluded to that in the live action rather than going for it, you know? I think it worked really well.
Like, he was like sort of a bit of a player, but not really.
When he's like listening to everyone else and he's like, yeah, I don't fucking care. What do you want, Nami?
Yeah.
Like, And she's like, water, and he's like, sparkling, still, distilled. Like, and she's like,
just water.
And he's like, all right.
Like, imagine if he just started doing that.
Yeah, but he was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, all of them were. Like, Usopp, he was just portrayed so well. Nami, Zoro, like, Luffy, they were all just great.
Yeah,
they
Luffy
were
was
all
really good.
so good.
Yeah.
I think I said this on like on the film episode, but like the moment that sold the show for me, like when I was unsure about it before it came out, was watching Inaki Godoy like cry watching the trailer for the show. I was like, man, I'm in on this. Like, I'm so in on this. 10 seasons, baby. 12 seasons, baby.
Seasons. I'm ready to watch more, honestly.
Yeah,
it was
like,
really good.
So I watched it with my partner, who's never had any whose only knowledge of One Piece is me constantly going, read it, read it, read it. But watched it with me, and when it ended, was like, I want more.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, luckily, we've got a whole bookshelf of manga out there. Like,
I think me and my partner had a similar reaction. We just wanted to watch more.
Yeah, and I would highly recommend still reading East Blue. Even though you've just watched it, highly recommend reading it.
I want to read it.
Yeah, it's very worth it.
Yeah.
It's a big time commitment, but it's very worth it. Like,
I want to watch it.
All the things that make East Blue really good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Luffy and his ambition, and like him gathering a group of misfits to like all follow their dreams, and like that just like gets amplified 1,000 times like over the coming arcs. Like, I like the moment like at the end of the live action, how they all like, they put their legs on the barrel and each of them go through their dreams, but it cuts to a shot of when they're younger. They were kid.
It was really
and
good.
it cuts to
I
Usopp and like him watching his mother die, and
Yeah.
then cutting back to him, and he's like, "I'm gonna be a brave warrior of the sea," and I was like,
You're like,
"Oh,
damn, dude.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
I thought when they did that, he was going to say, I'm going to be the best slingshot person. I was like, okay, sure, I guess. That's a dream.
Yeah.
But what they said instead was like, yeah, okay.
He's gonna be
cool.
a brave warrior of the sea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who were your favorite characters? Do you have like a top
Shanks.
5? Shanks? Shanks. I love Shanks.
So one of my like going in, the things that I was like, they have to get these things right.
Yeah.
Everything else I don't care.
Sure.
They have to get these things right.
Yeah.
Nami's scene at the end of episode 7 when she
Yeah.
asks for help. That is the make or break point for people watching and reading the source material. That is the point where like if you're not already invested, that moment of Nami saying like leave, go away, and like I told you to leave, and Luffy's like, you did. And she's like, get out, and he's like, okay. And then she turns around and says, help me. Like that is the moment that like makes or breaks people. Like everyone I know who's into One Piece is like, yeah, that was the bit that sold me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I wasn't really sold on Nami up to that point.
Yeah.
She was kind of a little one note for me. Zoro as well, a little bit. But then it got to that scene. And then basically her whole backstory. I was like, okay, cool.
See, Zoro and Nami for me, like, I didn't love them until the Mihawk fight and until the Nami flashbacks. Like, so they had to get that right, which they fucking did.
Yeah, they did.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
And they had to get Shanks right.
Yeah.
Because Shanks is so important to the story, and especially the Luffy's story.
Yeah.
And just, like, the lore of One Piece in general. And I was
Yeah.
like, they have to get him right. And when I saw the actor, I went,
Well, I don't know.
like in the trailers, I went, oh no, maybe not.
Yeah. He
Killed it.
Yeah.
Man killed it. I literally had, like, he is perfect as Shanks.
Like that scene when he's on the boat and he's like about to fight that monster and you realize his abilities to be able to talk to monsters. I was like,
That's not his ability at all, but okay.
What's his ability?
I'm not going to say.
Well, he did something.
He did
something where he was able to like
cool
tell the monster to go to
fuck
waste.
off.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, and he gets his arm.
And he's like, it's just an
Or
arm. And I'm
something.
like...
You're like, dude, but that's your fucking
And then
arm.
when Mihawk goes to see him and he's like, I'm not ready for a duel, Mihawk. And he's like, I wouldn't fight a one-armed has-been. And I'm like, oh my god!
Damn.
That
And then
scene was like played out perfectly.
Well, I love
Mihawk
the
and
ending. It's like
Shanks.
Mihawk's, like, they asked Mihawk for a drink. It's like, I suppose one couldn't hurt. And you're like, okay, I love these guys. This is really good.
They're great. They're so fucking great, dude.
Mihawk is... I liked Mihawk.
He was fucking great.
Yeah, he was really good. Like, he was just chill, didn't want anyone to tell him what to do. Spared Zoro for some reason. I was like, okay, that's epic. So I'm keen for whenever it happens when Zoro fights him again.
Oh yeah, they fight again.
Ooh,
And it's...
I'm excited for that.
Oh, dude. Their reunion is so fucking good.
Yeah.
That's not going to be until probably, like season 5 of the live action?
Okay. That's not as far away as I thought it was going to be.
No. It's good, man. It's very good.
I'm excited for when Luffy reunites with Shanks eventually.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet.
Fuck, dude.
Really?
You and everyone else in the world.
Really, it hasn't happened yet.
No.
There's been 1,000 episodes.
Dude, there's nearly 2,000 now.
Oh, okay, sure.
No, sorry, 1,100. I jumped the gun.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, it hasn't happened.
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to be cool whenever it does.
That's going to be like an end
at the
game
end,
situation.
okay.
Yeah.
Once he's found the One Piece. He hasn't found the One Piece yet, has he?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, we know the One Piece is real, though.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, Whitebeard said so.
Okay, cool.
The One Piece is real.
I liked the comparison between Luffy and Gold Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. So
Okay.
when you get to the first episodes, what I thought was going to be the final episodes of this season.
Yeah.
What'll be the first episode or two of the next season when they go to Logetown.
Yeah.
There are moments, like the reason that Smoker decides to chase them down
Yeah.
is because like Luffy's up, like Logetown is where Gold Roger was executed.
Gotcha.
And Luffy goes up onto the scaffold to look out, and he's
right.
like, this is what the Pirate King saw before he died. And some shit happens, and
Yeah.
like Luffy's up there like laughing, and Smoker, who was present at Gold Roger's death,
Oh,
looks up
shit,
and sees
okay.
him, and he's like, that's Gold, like he reminds me of Gold Roger.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have to stop him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, yeah, and so that's his whole motivation for following.
I'm
Luffy.
excited. That sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
it's so good, man.
Yeah.
That
You're getting me
Logetown is going to
excited.
be
Stop.
amazing.
Stop.
No. just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I can tell.
But it's like I'm so passionate about this show, and about this like source material. Like it is just genuinely moving, and incredible.
Did you have any other moments that you really liked in the live action?
All of it, man. Like,
okay, cool.
Kirby and Helmeppo were done to perfection.
Well, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because Kirby, to me, I didn't like Kirby.
I loved Kirby.
Is he like that in the anime?
And irritating shit? Yeah.
Well, because he just always like felt so like nervous and...
I don't know. His glow up is great. Like, he's great. And like him... I feel like the manga and the anime go a lot further to solidify him like standing up for himself. So interestingly, with Alvida, who's like obviously the first pirate Luffy fights when he rescues Kobe, when he's down talking to Kobe, Kobe like every time Alvida comes on, like she's like, who's the most beautiful woman on the sea? Yeah. And they're like, you are, Alvida, and she's like, you're goddamn right. Like, yeah. And you know, she's like always being like, who's the most beautiful pirate? And she's like, Kobe. Who's the most beautiful woman on the sea? And he's like, and he's like, are you Alvida? And she's like, yes. And like when Luffy and Kobe are talking and Alvida like hears them, Luffy's like, hey, who's the fat lady? And everyone's like,
yeah.
And then like, and Kobe stands up for himself by like he's like, Luffy's like, yeah, Kobe was telling me that he thinks you're ugly. And Kobe's like, stop it. Yeah. And then Alvida's like, is it true? And then he remembers like what Luffy said, and he's like, you know, if I die, I die, but at least I died following my dream. Yeah. And so Kobe's like, you're the ugliest bitch on the East Blue, like, and he like yells at her and calls her like fat and ugly. And then Luffy is like, nice, and then he beats the shit out of her. Like on Kobe's behalf. Like, and it's real, like they go a long way. And then after Axe Hand Morgan, when the Marines are like going to like see like Luffy and Zoro, because Nami's not in the story by that point.
Oh, okay.
And like they're like, Kobe, are you with these pirates? And like Luffy goes out of his way to like goad Kobe into punching him in the face. So like Kobe punches Luffy, and they're like, well, obviously he's not with the pirates. You can be a Marine. And they like they go a long way to like make Kobe a lot more like have a spine earlier on.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like that role was kind of Garp in the live action.
Yeah.
Which I liked, but it was a lot more satisfying when like when Luffy's like, man, this guy worked on a pirate ship with Alvida, and Kobe's like, stop saying this, and the Marines are like, what the fuck? And like, and you know, Zoro's in the back being like, hey, you fucking idiot. Like, it's a lot more satisfying.
Yeah.
But I think seeing him with Garp was really nice as well.
Yeah, I kind of like that relationship, because at that point you didn't really sense that Garp was totally
What was that game that they were playing and we played it?
Oh.
Like Go? Or whatever? Like with the white and the black dots, and you got to box each other, and they all flip.
Othello.
They were
playing Othello.
They were playing Othello. I was watching it with my partner. I was like, James, I played that. He beat my ass.
I didn't even make that
bad.
connection until right now.
Yeah, they were playing Othello.
That's amazing.
With the white and black tile.
Do you think they watched our Let's Play before?
They did, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Dude.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Garp had a laptop in the back.
Yeah.
Nasty Pretzel on it.
Nasty Pretzel. Let's Play.
Yeah, it was that was fun. Yeah. But then Helmeppo, holy shit.
Yeah, I liked how Helmeppo grew throughout the series. And his friendship with Kobe. I did like that.
Yeah.
It's just like Kobe just sort of felt a little one note to me until basically near the end.
Yeah, fair enough.
But hey,
that's Kobe and Helmeppo, I loved them both. I thought they were both exceptionally done.
Yeah.
I loved them. Yeah, I loved the Syrup Village arc with Usopp. I loved Buggy. I loved Klahadore. I loved the Baratier stuff. Yeah. I wish Don Krieg was there, but I like how they nodded to him and Mihawk just fucking diced him.
Wrecked him. Well, you hear him like die like in the phone call, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, the Mihawk fight was sick.
Yeah.
Arlong Park was amazing.
Yeah.
Nami's backstory was handled well. Like the send off at the end where they all put their boots up on the barrel, like it was all really just good. It was all just fantastic.
Yeah.
Like what a way to, and again, that happens after Logetown. They're in the middle of a storm. They've just got away from Chaser or Smoker. Fuck. And like, and they're just about to head to the Grand Line, and Sanji's like, wait, we have to do like a send off, and then he brings out the barrel and they do that.
That's cool.
I like how they did it here.
Yeah. It felt like a good way to round up like the whole series up until that point.
Well, if they did Logetown, that is where it would have ended. Anyway, I don't know why they didn't. It seems Seems
maybe
weird
they'll
that
do it
you
again.
wouldn't have it ending with them going to the Grand Line. I don't know.
Yeah,
That is an
I don't know.
interesting... Yeah, I don't know.
I liked it anyway. I thought it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite arcs of that series was when they fought Buggy.
Yeah.
Just because I love Buggy.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
He was
and
so
just like
good.
the way he and his crew had like just destroyed the village, but made the village like watch his show. I was like, dude, this guy's
That was
fucking
sinister
ahead.
as fuck, though.
Yeah. And that happened.
Like-
That does that happen in the anime as well?
The whole, like, him making them watch, no. All the villagers are just still in the destroyed village.
Oh, okay. I like this way more. That's so.
Yeah,
that's
that was really fucked up. And then when
Yeah.
Nami ran out and saw it all, I was like, oh my
damn.
fucking god.
Yeah.
Like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked that as well.
Yeah, I like the way they linked Arlong like into getting Buggy because he had the map.
That is
and stuff
all
like
very
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
But then Luffy meets Buggy again in Logtown.
Oh, okay.
Like, after he's assembled his body again on all of the chapter pages.
Yeah.
And then Luffy gets to Logtown and, like, Buggy shows up and he's like, it's me! And Luffy's like, who are you? Like, and it's very funny. But then,
Yeah.
like, they've got Buggy's head with them?
Yeah.
Or did they at the end of... I can't remember.
In the live action?
Yeah. Did they still have it after Arlong Park?
No, because he finds his body at Arlong Park
At Arlong
and he's
Park
like,
and he
see
fucks
you
off.
later.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm interested to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
Very interested to see what they do with Alvida.
Yeah, because it shows her, like one of the last scenes, she teams up with Buggy.
Yeah. But she comes back in an interesting way in Logtown as well.
Yeah.
As in, they give her a devil fruit that makes her skinny and hot.
Right.
So I'm very interested to see if they do that.
yeah.
She eats the
Probably won't.
slip fruit.
The slip fruit.
And so nothing
Sure.
can penetrate her perfect, flawless body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's and she gets real skinny and
yeah,
real
I don't see
hot.
them doing that in the live action.
It's weird. I
Yeah.
hope they don't do it.
Yeah, that's a bit iffy.
It's no good.
Yeah.
It's always been iffy. But
Yeah.
like, I think the way, like, the actor who played Alvida was great.
Yeah,
I was
she
like,
was
I hope
really
they keep
good.
her around. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, she was really good.
She was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like the Arlong arc. Arlong arc. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Arlong Park.
The Arlong Park arc.
The Arlong Park arc.
Yeah.
The Arlong
Yeah.
Park arc.
Yeah, the park
Arc.
arc. Yeah, good one too. No, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really good, and all the cutscenes, like the backstory, was good. I enjoyed it. Are there any things that you didn't like? Any other additional things you didn't like, or thought could be done better / differently, or you're pretty happy with how it all went?
No.
Okay.
No. I was very happy. I was
Yeah.
very happy. All the changes that they made, I understand why they made them.
Okay.
And I like why they made them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't love every change, but, like, I liked how it was still super faithful, though.
Yeah,
But
it seemed
funnily enough, fucking IGN's review was, like, 7 out of 10, like, it was too faithful. They literally put a con as it was too faithful.
Even
and
though
I'm
they
like,
changed things up.
yeah,
little.
but then also all the faithful bits were like the best bits.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what made it so good because
Yeah.
the source material is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
But I do really like that. Oh my god, there were so many like Easter eggs for future things. So many Easter eggs for future things.
Yeah.
So like you first meet Zoro, he cuts that dude in half. He's
True.
Mr. 9. He's an agent of Baroque Works or Mr. 7 or whoever he is.
Oh yeah, that guy looked funky.
And Baroque Works is like the main villain organization of the second season.
Oh, okay.
But you don't know about them until you get to the Grand Line.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
That is cool.
You see the Baroque Works logo at another point in the series as
Yeah.
well. I'm like, cool. Like, when Zolo's...
Solo. Dude.
When Zoro is, like, recovering from his wounds and Nami's reading to him,
Yeah.
she's reading him The Tale of Noland the Liar. And that's relevant for Skypiea, which will be, like, the third season of the
Yeah.
live action. Like, there's a lot of nods forward, which I really like.
Yeah.
It's very cool because
Yeah.
obviously they have, 1,000 episodes of hindsight now. So it makes
Yeah.
it real easy to do that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it was very cool.
And they can cut out stuff that they don't need, like any
Yeah.
filler shit that was in the anime.
Very intrigued to see what they do with the way that the second season is structured
Yeah.
because they hit a couple of islands before they hit Alabasta, which is going to be the meat of the second season.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear Luffy say the immortal line, "I'm angry
And
and
I'm
I'm wet." It's the fucking
It's
best,
so
dude.
good. If you don't know what Tyler's talking about, it's like one of the scenes in the Four Kids.
Yeah, when he's fighting Crocodile and he's like, you got hurt when I was wet, and he like squirts water onto his hair, and he's like, and he's like, I'm angry and I'm wet.
So good.
Kills. He better say that.
Oh, he better say it.
Probably even though won't. That's not what happened. Anyway,
no.
It's great. But yeah, anything that you like, I'm stoked. I'm stoked with how good this was.
Yeah, no,
anything that you liked or didn't like to wrap it up.
I think the first episode I think was the only episode where I kind of had an issue with the pacing, like a little bit, just because they just threw in so much stuff. Like,
first episode was a bit quick.
It was a bit quick, and it was just a lot to kind of process. But everything after that was pretty much perfect.
Yeah,
and I really liked how the whole buggy section played out, and like all the cutscenes, like in between their fight, but with Zora and all of that was just really good. No, I think I've said everything I need to say. I really enjoyed the show, and I enjoyed the plots for the most part. I didn't love Koro, that whole section, but I still liked Usopp. He was a fun character, and some of that stuff there was really good. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. Like, I kind of want to read the manga now. You should. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait until the second season. Like, I don't know if I want to wait.
When Oda announced season 2... just prior to that, they'd said, like, you know, scripts are ready to go. Like, once the strike's over, we can start, basically.
So we might see it in, like, 2 years.
When Oda announced season 2, he was like, the scripts need a bit of work. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, like, okay, buddy.
But they were confident that they could get it on the screen in 12 to 18 months after the strike ends.
Okay.
And I'm like, so 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fair.
And I'm like, totally for real. Like, but the thing is, like, these actors are meant to be the same age until, like, what would be, like, the 6th season of the show. And then it's only a 2-year jump.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, they better just fucking film, like, 2 and 3 back to back, to be honest. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see how they do it.
But now all the actors are still relatively young.
They're all in their 20s. The oldest cast member is Emily Rudd, who's 30.
Yeah.
She doesn't look fucking 30
No, she
all.
doesn't. And, like... Inoki, is that his name?
Inaki?
Yeah. I think he's only 20.
Yeah, he's super young.
Weird.
Which is... No, that makes complete sense that they'd make Luffy look the youngest, though. Because he is meant to be the youngest by far. Like,
yeah, okay.
Actually, no, I think canonically, Sanji's the youngest. I can't remember.
Okay.
Oda did that in, like, a question corner one time. He's like, yeah, the Straw Hats are these ages. And I'm like, sure, okay.
Like, whatever.
Yeah. Doesn't affect the story.
No.
But, like, yeah, they're... Yeah, so I'm holding out hope that, you know, season 2 will be good. Season 2, the biggest challenge is going to be Chopper.
Yeah.
You know, having
that might look weird.
A reindeer. But they said they're not going to use CGI. They said they want to do it practically, and I'm like, okay.
All right.
Deeply intrigued to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm hyped as hell for a second season.
Me too.
Because, like, Alabasta is great. And everything leading up to Alabasta is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see it in live action.
Yeah, me too.
With this cast. And and with these people making it. Like, I'm so fucking excited.
I think it, like, even though I hadn't watched One Piece or read the manga, it still, I think it felt faithful to me. And it felt like it was made with love. The production was really good.
Yeah.
I think the only things, like, that felt a bit odd with some lines that were said, because it just, you know, it's anime sounding lines. So I was just like, okay, but it didn't bother me at all. It was all really good. I loved most of the characters, and I want to see more Buggy. Give me more Buggy.
Oh, Buggy.
I loved him so much. He was just insane.
You need to read the manga, because Buggy is... But you need to read the manga.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's really good.
Cool. Well, I think we can wrap it up there. But yeah, thanks for telling me to go watch it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I recommend anyone to go and read it. And if you want to watch it as well. It's worth it. It's long. It's long, but it is so worth it.
Watch the what's it called? The One Piece. One Piece. Yeah. I kind of want to watch One Piece.
We could do a whole episode about that, about how controversial that is in the community.
Yeah.
People don't like it. Really? They're like, if you're rushing through One Piece, you're not really watching One Piece. I'm like, no, they're cutting out the fucking 20 minutes of crowd shots. Like, it's not. They're not cutting anything out. They're just cutting out all the accents.
His foot was like dragging along.
I'm getting angry now. I'm getting angry now. Like,
I don't want to get you angry.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Gamma no!
If you had to have it devil fruit, what would your power be?
I can't say because it's a spoiler for another character later on.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well,
anyway, I guess we'll end it there.
Guess we can end it there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed talking about it a lot. Looks like you did.
I really did, yeah.
And we'll catch you next time with whatever the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, make sure you're following us to catch up with that when it comes out. Check out all of our other videos that we've got up on our YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify, got any backlog, listen through that. And I think very importantly, share it around. If you enjoyed this or any of our episodes, let people know.
Yeah.
We've been doing a bit more promotion lately, which has been good.
Yeah.
But yeah, let people know if you think hey, I have a friend who likes One Piece. Yeah. He's going to like that they talk about the manga for a long time. Then let them know.
That Tyler guy, he really knows his stuff.
I fucking love One Piece, dude.
Yeah, I could tell.
But
tell by the hat I'm wearing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, these are both my hats.
Yeah. This isn't my hat.
Yeah. But
I might take it back.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.